Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the compatibility, so looking at the love and anger compatibility between both Aquarius versus Taurus. Now I recommend you watch this video if you happen to have your Sun, your Moon, your Venus, your Mars and also your Mercury within either of these two signs, because of course Mercury is all about communication and communication is pretty dang important when it comes to compatibility. However, before we do get started, I've got a frog in my throat there. If you would like to know more information all about compatibility within astrology, as well as your Venus sign, along with your Libra house and your 7th house within your natal birth chart, then I have created a Libra season/archetype ebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a link to that ebook in the description box below so that you can pick up your copy today. Alright, so with all those introductions out of the way, Aquarius versus Taurus. Let's do this. Okay, so the first thing to keep in mind is that these two signs are making what's referred to as a square aspect between one another within the zodiac wheel. And what square aspects can signify is that they can signify criticisms, tensions, pressures and conflicts. But I don't just want to look at these potential criticisms and conflicts and such, I also want to look at these signs overall, so looking at the compatibility between them and how they can both come into a union between one another. So then, to begin, let's address the love and courtship and romance and the whole attraction between these signs. And what I find quite interesting about them is that we have, well, firstly, Aquarius. So Aquarians can be known for being quite free-spirited. They can be very friendly and social people. But then we have Taurus, and I feel that a Taurus may look to an Aquarius and kind of see someone who is a little bit all over the place, but they may just admire this about the Aquarius because Taurians are much more calculated. They're much more structured in how they appear, how they approach life, how they express themselves, and they're certainly a lot more calmer. You know, an Aquarius may be having a conversation with a Taurus person, and the Taurus person may be really good at bringing the Aquarius down to earth, okay? Keeping them nice and stable. And that can be something that can bring the Aquarius a lot of ease, a lot of comfort, a lot of relaxation for themselves. However, what may start to happen through this encounter is that whilst a Taurus maybe wants to keep to a certain point, or maybe they want to make a suggestion as to what the two of them should do together, that Taurus is going to be quite stuck on that point or committed to that particular idea that they brought up. Now if the Aquarius is all for it and they agree with the Taurus and they say, yes, okay, we'll do that, we'll go here, sure, I like that suggestion, Taurus, that's all good. But if the Aquarius maybe doesn't agree, maybe the Aquarius is sick of doing the same thing week in, week out. If the Taurus doesn't want to do what the Aquarius wants to do, and the Aquarius doesn't want to do what the Taurus wants to do, then of course there can be conflicts between them. And I feel that, of course, both of them being fixed signs, I feel that this is where many complications and tensions can arise between the two of them. And this is also why it would be good for both of them to look at compromise, to look at cooperation, to really look at how they can find a common ground between one another. And even on that note, I feel that an Aquarius may be more likely to keep themselves a bit more busy, especially in their heads. Whereas a Taurus, yes, Taurus people can be really hardworking and they're really good at providing for themselves, for their families. But when it comes to relaxing, when it comes to being off the clock, that's them. They're off the clock. They don't have to necessarily get themselves into a frenzy. They don't have to think too much. They just want to relax. Their job is probably where they put a lot of that stimulation, and then at the end of that job, or even if it's a social situation they go into, at the end of that social situation, they want to switch off. They're very good at that. But if the Aquarius is a bit more energized, or they're looking for more of a mental stimulation from the Taurus when the Taurus is just trying to relax, then again, this is where conflicts can also arise between the two of them. Now, that's not to say that an Aquarius cannot be cool and calm and collected. They also, like Taurus, can. Aquarians can be pretty chill and laid back. Taurus people can be pretty chill and laid back as well. So when the moment is right, when they both feel good with one another, they can do a lot of relaxing together, just hanging out, discussing certain topics together, just hanging out as a couple. But I think that it's how they really process information, it's how they think that can really differentiate between them. So for example, we have Aquarius who may be a lot more hypothetical, theoretical. They may try to look at the bigger picture in things and come up with just all of these different ideas and theories and concepts to how they view the world and situations in life. But then Taurus is much more practical, much more grounded about it. They like concrete examples. They like to use the physical world to see, to feel, to hear. It's all there. But this is where they can start to misunderstand each other. Aquarius may be going off on one of their tangents or one of their hypotheticals over a certain cause around the world or a certain piece of information from the news, and the Taurus is trying to communicate with the Aquarius about it, and they're just trying to be a lot more rational about it. They're trying to have much more common sense. The Aquarius could go off on a full analysis of what they think, what they see, but the Taurus can just simply make it grounded by saying one thing that's more about common sense that may just pop the bubble of the Aquarius. And then this can be, it can be pretty beneficial for the Aquarius, because then it means the Aquarius doesn't really have to necessarily think about it anymore. But it has to make sense though, because if it doesn't make sense to the Aquarius, then the Aquarius may start to overthink and analyze. This is the thing, Aquarians will just think a lot more, and they'll try to analyze things to such a degree that they want to find another outcome, or they want to make up another theory that's not being made before. They can be quite scientifically minded in that way. They're constantly trying to experiment with things and people. And if the Taurus is kind of looking at the Aquarius as if to say, but why are you doing that? Why are you keeping on trying to find new meanings to things or coming up with new results when it's already here? It's already been proven. It's done. Aquarius, you're wasting your time. Taurus people, earth signs overall, they may have this outlook to life where it's about, well, why waste your time? There's no point in putting your energy into that when it's not needed. So the Taurus person may get to a point with the Aquarius where they just become exhausted a little bit, you know, mentally drained almost. So let's try and ground this information to give you an example. They're making dinner with the Taurus, and the Taurus has the instructions. They say, right, Aquarius, we're going to make this cake, or we're going to make this food. And the Aquarius is going along with the instructions, and they're having good fun making this food together. Aquarius is cracking their many jokes, making their little sound effects here and there just out of nowhere suddenly. And the Taurus may turn to the Aquarius and just kind of be like, what is wrong with you? But they'll laugh, you know, they'll think it's kind of cute or funny that the Aquarius does that. The Taurus may be a little bit slower in how they do things. The Aquarius may find that quite interesting as well. The Aquarius may try to jump a couple of steps. They may try to crack an egg here and put a bit of salt there, and the Taurus looks at the Aquarius like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. Didn't you read it from here? You're not supposed to do that, Aquarius. Aquarius is still trying to bring new ways of doing it. Hey, instead of one egg, how about we do an egg and a half? Or, this doesn't look right to me, Taurus. Maybe we can actually put some more chocolate sprinkles on this instead. And the Taurus is just like, oh my gosh, Aquarius, it's not the point. Can't we just make food from start to finish without you trying to like change it or bring in all these new ways into it? And the Aquarius is just like, well, come on, it's just what I think, it's just what I see, let me try. And it may get to a point where the Taurus then turns to the Aquarius and says, I told you so. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? And the Aquarius looks at the Taurus and is like, well, at least I tried, you know, at least I gave it a shot, and I realized that it didn't work, you know. Maybe the thing that they were trying to make comes out completely disastrous because of Aquarius trying to bring in their little experimental, inventive ideas into the mix. But yeah, the Taurus can be that type of person who just kind of sits back and is like, yeah, see? Yeah, I knew it. Now, I know that this is a really silly example, but if you can just imagine this going into other aspects of their lives. So suggesting here that whilst a Taurus person is more about consistency within love, the Aquarius, if things are too consistent from the Taurus to the Aquarius and the Aquarius doesn't feel comfortable with it, if they feel like they're being pinned down, then the Aquarius may have the ability or the tendency to be rebellious. They may be quite unpredictable. They could even start to look at things that the Taurus is doing, and if they ever see something that's not fair from the Taurus towards the Aquarius may just stand up and say, hey, like, I don't agree with that. That's not something I'm comfortable with, actually, Taurus. Even looking at them in a long-term, committed, mutual relationship together. Let's say they even go on to get married and they have children together. So you can have the Taurus who's quite consistent. They're very routine-based. They know what they like. They know how things should be laid out. There's a routine. There's a pattern for how the kids should get ready for school. For the different tasks and duties that they have to do then. But for the Aquarius, if the Aquarius is a bit more inconsistent, if they try to go outside of those time frames, those schedules, those own limits or routines that the Taurus has outlined, then there can be arguments between them. You know, this could be a matter of the Aquarius getting to a point where they look to the Taurus and they think, I'm sick of this routine. I'm sick of how boring this is. It's so dry and bland. Then the Aquarius just does something shocking or unpredictable just out of nowhere. And they maybe don't even feel the need to have to explain it to the Taurus. And if the Aquarius does that, then the Taurus may look to the Aquarius and think, are you even reliable? Are you even a consistent partner within my life? So I feel when it comes to how consistent they are towards one another. I feel that these things need to be addressed early on within the relationship before they start looking at potential committed, you know, long term together. So for example, right, maybe the Aquarius has something else that they want to implement and the Taurus isn't really sure about it, okay? They can try it maybe for a week, a couple days to see how it goes. And then the Taurus can realize through that sort of experimentation or trying it a couple of times if it works or if it doesn't work. However, if we were to look at this on a more positive note, I do think that the both of them can really show a lot of support towards one another. So what I mean by this is that a Taurus person, for example, they may look at the certain causes or the certain groups that the Aquarius is a part of, and they may be really appreciative towards those things, and they may see that as a strength within the Aquarius. They may see someone that really cares. They may see someone that's really giving and kind. They may even see someone in the Aquarius that's pretty generous as well, because there can be a lot of generosity that the Aquarius can show towards the Taurus as well within love. But then likewise, I think that an Aquarius can look to the Taurus and see a lot of generosity from them as well. See a lot of that giving nature that the Taurus can show towards the Aquarius, and also that the Taurus can have towards their family, towards the home, you know, keeping it well organized or decorated, that the Taurus really cares about their own stability. You know, an Aquarius can look to the Taurus and really admire just how much time and effort that the Taurus puts into how they provide for themselves and their family. Now, with that point, there can also be the implications if, for example, the Aquarius is maybe doing things more outside of the home for other people, rather than looking at the inside of the home and the physical security with the Taurus. In that instance, a Taurus may think that the Aquarius is more caring towards everybody else and not towards them in a personal sense, and the Taurus wants to feel that connection, I think, from their partner. Then the Aquarius can think to themselves, well, I'm giving so much to these people, but I am giving to you as well. I don't get it. I feel like I'm trying to do it for everyone here. But then that's also where the whole equality and fairness comes into play, where the Aquarius thinks it's being equal and fair, but the Taurus is not being equal and fair. So the Taurus will get to a point where they think, well, then what's the point then? Like, what are you going to choose? Like, who's more important to you then? Tell me, what's more important to you? The love for you and your family and here and being with us, or the love to everybody that you give out there? Like, don't you see? It's more important to be here. Charity starts at home, Aquarius. But overall, I do think this can be a relationship that is based upon respect, integrity, really showing up for each other. It's pretty well-rounded, it's level-headed. There's a lot of resourcefulness within it. Both of them are really going to care about how they're providing and helping out between each other, and how they can actually make that relationship work, and looking at children, looking at a future together. They're going to really put in the effort. But it's just these stubborn tendencies, these misunderstandings that can cause a lot of conflicts. Now, in terms of what they enjoy doing together, I think that the both of them may enjoy going to different restaurants, going to different movies, just relaxing at home, talking about different things they've been learning, and they can both really challenge each other. Now, if the Taurus has a certain way of doing things, or they like to go to certain restaurants, then they can suggest those things to the Aquarius, and the Aquarius may definitely be on board, and they'll enjoy all those new things that they get to do through the Taurians' suggestions. But then it's also good for the Taurus to be a little bit open to other things that the Aquarius then suggests as well. But overall, I do think that they can find a lot of comfort and stillness from hanging out. But even on that note, you know, leading on to affection, The Taurus may be much more physical in terms of their own affection towards the Aquarius, and the Aquarius, yes, they can be really receptive towards the Taurus, and the Aquarius can also be quite affectionate as well in their own way, and they may do little silly things towards the Taurus that's quite sudden, and the Taurus might find them to be quite funny. But it's still important for the two of them to build on a friendship, because for the Aquarius, a friendship is really important, I feel, within a relationship. So in this way, I think that a Taurus person can have that type of consistency that's brought on from a friendship. So if they feel that from the Taurus, then the Aquarius is going to be a lot more open, I think, and they are going to be more receiving towards the things that the Taurus actually likes to do, and they're going to be more likely to want to actually ground themselves and stay longer with the Taurus, because they have built on that more solid friendship with the Taurus. So in that way, it's good for the both of them to have that friendship connection, but then also there is that affection that can be brought in that can maybe bring for a pretty good erotic relationship in terms of romance between the two of them. Now, still, let's look at then the anger, okay, since we've discussed the love and romance, and this is where I want to bring in how this relationship maybe doesn't have a lot of emotional depth, okay? And I'm bringing anger into this mix because I think that this emotional depth, this lack thereof, can be where anger may arise between these two. So this is something to really address here, because this can impact, it can really make or break the relationship between these two signs. So with that being said, let's say for example that the two of them are relaxing on the sofa, okay, and the Taurus is very affectionate in the physical way, okay, they are maybe caressing the Aquarius on the leg, on their arm, wherever. And so for the Taurus, if they feel like they're comfortable, they're relaxed, everything's quite soothing, then their emotions are going to be a lot more like, okay, I'm content, I feel good, like I'm happy here, you know. But what might end up happening is the Aquarius is in their head. They're maybe in their heads over what they're watching on the television, questioning things, constantly questioning. They're trying to observe everything. Maybe they're questioning what happened throughout the day, or they're questioning a future event. They're basically just in their heads, and the Taurus is finding it hard to reach the Aquarius. And what then this can result in is the Taurus tugging at the Aquarius as to say, like, you alright? What's going on? Are you okay? And the Aquarius maybe is then trying to like think of how to articulate what they want to say to the Taurus, and maybe as they go to articulate it, the Taurus doesn't really understand what the Aquarius means, and because of that miscommunication, maybe it gets to a point where the Aquarius is kind of just speaking gibberish almost in a way, and the Taurus is getting kind of aggravated a little bit. It's like they're being pushed gradually more and more and more, and they're starting to think to themselves, well, what is the point? Why are we doing this if you're thinking about all these other matters over here that is taking you away from what you should be actually appreciating right now with me? And then the Taurus may feel like they're not being valued, and they're trying to keep calm. The Aquarius is trying to keep calm, but it may get to a point where it's the Taurus that actually ends up exploding first. Taurus people or types, when they're angry, it's poke, it's a little bit, okay, you're aggravating them a little bit more. You just keep poking the bull so many times, and then they get rageful, they get so annoyed and so upset, but they don't even know what the heck the Aquarius is saying, what they mean, nothing, they don't get it. So then the Aquarius may become quite emotionally distant as well, because they just see this rageful person angry at them because the Aquarius wasn't wasn't present with them. The Aquarius might even get to a point where they think, well, this isn't fair. This is not fair to me. I didn't do anything wrong. You can't treat me like this. This isn't right, you know? So they may stand up for themselves, and the Taurus is standing up for themselves. And again, this is coming with this resistant, stubborn, fixed, will not budge type of energy from both parties, all because it stems back from how a Taurus is seeking that affection and love and embracement through the touch, you know, to be present with them, to appreciate your time with them. Whereas the Aquarius can just be in their own world sometimes, just thinking about everything else and all the issues going on around the world and oh my gosh, or about their work and everybody else there and how everyone is interacting. And that in itself can just bring a lot of explosive energy here. So in this way, I think it's good for them just to kind of really appreciate like where the other person is coming from, you know, and to communicate and listen, like really listen. Both of them can actually be very, very good at listening to each other. Now, the Taurus may be slower in trying to like process all of that, in terms of like the information that they're bringing in from the Aquarius. It just takes them a little bit of time. So in this way, it'd be good for the Aquarius to be patient. Be more patient with the Taurus. But then likewise, I think that it's good for the Taurus to be patient with how the Aquarius processes their emotions as well, because that can be a little bit more complex. So bringing this back to emotional depth, yes, emotional depth can be difficult for them to reach, but with patience, with communication, with understanding where the other person is coming from, I feel that they can get to that point. And if we were to also flip this the other way round, of the Aquarius getting angry from the Taurus, well, this could be a situation where maybe that Taurus has went on a certain shopping spree, or maybe they have been a little bit overindulgent with food, with material items. They've just given to all of the hedonistic temptations of the physical world. And the Aquarius realizes, you've spent this much money on what? Like, you spent £500 on a smoothie maker? You spent £1,000 on new like seats for the car, and you didn't even tell me? You know, stuff like that possibly arising from the Taurus to the Aquarius. Yeah, the Aquarius likes to be in the know in terms of decisions that their partner makes within the relationship, if it impacts the both of them especially. Yeah, the Aquarius is going to be a lot more free-spirited and just like, yeah, do what you want. You don't have to necessarily explain yourself to me. Just be loyal, just be trustworthy, just be honest to me. But, you know, you're not like on a chain. You're not chained to me. Like, you know, you can still have your freedom, whatever. But if you're going to make certain decisions like that, if you're going to make certain moves to do with money, to do with resourcefulness, you know, yes, Taurus people are going to be very much about resourcefulness and about their physical security, but they can still have this part of them that can be a little bit materialistic. So if they make certain moves within the relationship that impacts their relationship together, then the Aquarius may look at this as not very fair. You weren't being actually like smart about it. You know, the Aquarius may even look at the intelligence towards the Taurus as well, and even if they start to undermine their intelligence towards the Taurus, because the Aquarius may start to sit on their kind of like intellectual high horse, so to speak, towards the Taurus. Then that can piss the Taurus off even more for doing that. Yeah, that Aquarius may get pissed off by the greedy streak that may arise from a Taurus person. Especially if that Taurus has been giving the Aquarius such a hard time, or if they've been expressing to the Aquarius how much they want consistency or they want predictability from the Aquarius, but then the Taurus just goes and does that. They just spend all their money on something without thinking about it. Then the Aquarius may look to the Taurus and think, oh, well, you're a bit hypocritical, you know, you say about me, well, look at yourself, like, look what you did, you know? So it would be really beneficial for both of them just to really think about how the other person would like to be treated. So thinking about even just their actions and how their actions can impact each other together in the long run with each other, you know, in terms of, okay, yeah, we're in a solid, stable relationship, but how is this going to progress further into the future? And how can we both bring ourselves into it in a fair and equal way? And I think that both of them can, provided that they learn to listen, communicate, and just take the other person into consideration. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the love and anger compatibility between Aquarius versus Taurus. Now, if you do happen to have any thoughts and opinions on today's video, then please be sure to let us know in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then go right ahead and click that subscribe button. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!